Monday, TikTok CEO met with President-elect Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago as the social media company fights to block a law that would effectively ban the app in the U.S. Before the meeting, when Trump was asked about the law, the president-elect had this to say.
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok had something to do with it. So I have a little bit of a warm spot in my heart, I'll be honest.
Okay, so his heart has grown a couple sizes here on TikTok because we'll remember in Trump 1.0, previously the talk was that there was more of the national security risk of TikTok operating and the data component that was alleged that China was able to essentially take on from users that were on TikTok. That led to a bidding war ensuing essentially for the U.S. operations of TikTok and really pressuring ByteDance to sell TikTok. Now, Trump 2.0, it's warm spot in his heart for TikTok. We will see if this meeting actually held some weights to it and ultimately allows for TikTok to continue to operate post what has already been put on the table. January 19th, I believe, is the deadline as of right now.
Yeah, January 19th is the deadline, the day before Trump is inaugurated. So again, the question here is just in terms of how much he will actually, how far he will go, obviously, if this were to be implemented. You might be asking yourself why this change of heart when it comes to TikTok. He talked about the fact that he had a lot of success, or what he believes was success on TikTok leading up to the election, able to resonate with millions of younger voters on the platform, at least according to him, claiming that he did win the youth vote by 34 points. And he also attributed some of that to TikTok. But again, just going forward, just what exactly this means here. He did leave the door open. He didn't necessarily say he was going to save TikTok, right? He said he was going to take a look. And obviously that leaves all options on the table at this point. We know ByteDance has obviously been very vocal. They've said that a divestiture is nearly impossible, and that they were to come down to that, or is practically impossible, meaning that the nationwide ban would potentially go into effect on January 19th. So again, when you talk about the popularity of TikTok, the social media platform, obviously, and stack that up against some of the national security concerns, you can see why this debate has certainly been so lively on both sides of the aisle.
You know, and this has massive implications, especially for the creator economy as well. For the number of users that are on TikTok, and we've been discussing with some of those very creators on Yahoo Finance, just what would take place, what would happen if we did see a ban of TikTok get implemented. What would that mean for their monetization, their ability to take some of those followers over to other platforms and essentially be able to generate a similar amount of income here. So even as we're thinking about for the investor implications for other social media companies, people who have holdings in Meta, people who have holdings perhaps in Snapchat, there's also a major difference that we could see in how users on these platforms and how some of the people that have essentially started their own businesses on these platforms have been able to monetize and now would have a massive shift of their own to consider here too.
Certainly.